Causes of water pollution. The causes of water pollution are often debated and studied. However, there is a consensus that the causes can be grouped into three categories: natural causes, anthropogenic causes, and biotic causes. The natural causes of water sources like watersheds or groundwater resources have been polluted by various processes such as acid rain caused by air pollution from fossil fuels. Anthropogenic causes include human activities that result in contamination of surface waters, for example leaking toxic substances from factories into rivers and lakes, or agricultural runoff containing pesticides or fertilizers contaminating nearby freshwater bodies. Lastly, biotic causes refer to pollutants entering the environment through living organisms such as bacteria or algae blooms, which can occur when excessive nutrients enter an aquatic ecosystem. Water pollution caused by agriculture. The overuse of pesticides, herbicides, and fertilizers on crops is causing the water to become polluted with dangerous chemicals. Agriculture impacts our environment negatively by releasing damaging toxins into natural waterways like rivers and streams that are often used for drinking sources or put right onto fields and irrigation systems. In the past 2 decades, water pollution has become a major problem. The main cause of this is agriculture. Pesticides and fertilizers runoff from farmlands pollute rivers and lakes with excess nutrients like nitrogen, leading to algal blooms that suck up all the oxygen out of waterways, making them uninhabitable for other organisms as well as humans. From 2007 to 2010 alone, there was an average annual loss in fish populations due to phosphorus discharge into Umpqua River Basin in Oregon, totaling $118 million per year. It's time we take environmental action before these problems escalate. Even further, water pollution caused by ships. It is hard to imagine that water pollution could happen at sea, but it does. The ships are constantly dumping their sewage and garbage in the ocean where they come from. Many plastics have been found on some beaches because of this problem, including a dead sperm whale with 30 kilograms, 66 pounds, worth sitting inside its stomach. Water pollution caused by ships has been a long-standing problem. To change this, companies are now using special water treatment plants to remove the oil from the fuel before it is used on a ship or released into the ocean. Water pollution caused by factories and industries. Pollution is one of the foremost dangers to the environment. Unfortunately, many factories and industries have dirtied our water. Still, we can fix this problem by decreasing pollution's effect on all living things through green initiatives that help promote sustainable practices in manufacturing. In some cases, people do not realize how much damage they are doing when dumping heavy metal substances into their local waterways or throwing trash out onto a forest floor. They might be harming themselves just as well. Pollution affects everyone, whether it comes from an industrial plant spilling toxic waste such as oil or gas tanks leaking chemicals like benzene, which causes cancer symptoms, including vomiting blood because your body cannot break down what you're breathing in properly. These factors include ruining air quality with smog. The cleanliness of our drinking water relies on the health of bodies like oceans, streams, creeks, and wetlands that provide us with fresh H2O for consumption. Unfortunately, with factories and industries dumping polluted waste into these waterways without a thought as to how it affects anything but their pocketbooks, an alarming number are turning brackish or even diseased from pollutants such as mercury or lead, which plants can't filter out because they're so small, causing problems not just for fish populations, which often die off, but also people who eat them too. Water pollution caused by vehicles. It's been well known for a while now that water pollution is caused by vehicles. They create toxic substances in the form of gas, oil, and brake dust, leading to an increase in algae blooms on waterways due to nuclear runoff discharge. It also decreases oxygen levels and volatile gases and decomposes these pollutants. The resulting organic material then sinks into reefs, seagrasses, and oyster beds, suffocating them with dramatically reduced biodiversity. It's not just the number of cars on the road that is causing water pollution. The fuel they use to get around causes it too. Automobiles are one of many sources for this. Their exhaust contains carbon monoxide, which can react with oxygen in rainwater or surface runoff from a storm event to form carbonyl compounds like acetaldehyde and acetic acid. These chlorinated molecules may cause adverse effects such as eye irritation, headache, nausea, even death if you're directly into the water pollution caused by plastic. Plastic Still, when disposed improperly, they can cause serious water pollution by inducing toxic chemicals into natural water waterways or through oceanic currents that circulate them around until they reach land masses where people may come across their harmful effects on health later down the line. How many times have you seen a plastic bag floating in the water? I've never stopped to think about what happens after that. But, unfortunately, the truth is, it doesn't just float away and out of sight for good. They're all too common as an eyesore on our beaches or lodged up somewhere along the shoreline. We are all aware of the negative impacts that plastic water bottles have on our environment. Plastics take hundreds, if not thousands, of years to biodegrade and cause pollution in waterways when they eventually degrade into smaller pieces or leak their contents, containing toxic chemicals like BPA. Causes of water pollution. Water pollution caused by fossil fuels. Water pollution is a byproduct of the fossil fuel industry. The burning of coal, oil, and natural gas releases greenhouse gases that trap heat in our atmosphere, leading to global warming, which has resulted in melting ice caps, rising sea levels, and changes to climates around the world. Through mining activities, we are also depleting water sources and polluting them with toxic chemicals like mercury from gold mines or lead from fertilizers used on crops such as corn, used for ethanol production. Lastly, there is an increase in illnesses caused by these pollutants due not only during accidents but through long-term exposure over decades, including cancer, respiratory diseases, and congenital disabilities, among other things. Water pollution caused by acid rain. The air is so polluted that it turns rain into acid. This water then spills into rivers, lakes, and oceans where the fish can't live because of acidic levels. Acid rain is dangerous because it causes water pollution. In addition, nitrogen and sulfur dioxide are released into the air by natural sources like volcanoes or human-made activities such as fossil fuel power plants burning coal to generate electricity. When these pollutants mix with atmospheric moisture, rain, they form nitric acid in the atmosphere, which then falls back down on the Earth's surface, where everything comes into contact with the lakes, streams, rivers, and oceans. Water pollution caused by construction activities. In the past decade, construction activity has been identified as a major cause of water pollution. The construction industry is a major contributor to water pollution in our communities. The impact ranges from the potential contamination of drinking and surface water to soil erosion, leading to flooding during heavy rainfall events. Construction sites often leave behind tons of dirt that contain pollutants such as oil or hazardous chemicals like asbestos, benzene, arsenic, and other known toxins for years after completion due to improper disposal methods used on-site. In addition, construction vehicles leak fluids containing contaminants into storm drains when washing their engines off at big job sites before driving away from an assigned job site, causing even more damage downstream than there was upstream where it originated. Water pollution caused by domestic sewage. Sewage causes a major threat to the water supply. Pollution from sewage is unhealthy and can cause disease, making it hard for us to drink clean water to stay healthy. Sewage contains bacteria that make polluting our drinking sources even more dangerous because researchers use these microorganisms as an indicator of purity level measurement. Sewage contamination has been shown time again as being harmful not only for humans but also animals who use waterways or other potable bodies of natural resources like lakes and rivers, which contaminate their food chain, resulting in illnesses such as giardiasis, cryptosporidiosis, salmonellosis, among others when ingested through contaminated waters. In order to save our planet for future generations, we need to reduce the causes of water pollution. Water pollution caused by nature. Pollution in the water is caused by natural disasters and geological events such as floods, landslides, or earthquakes. A lot of times, pollution is caused by nature. For example, the natural occurrence that produces acid rain can also cause water to become polluted. Researchers in the US and Canada have found that much water pollution is caused by natural factors, such as weather conditions like rainstorms. According to research conducted jointly by a team led from University College London and McGill University, most of our water contamination comes not from humans but rather nature itself, namely rainfall events or storm water runoff carrying debris into streams with pollutants on it, then end up contaminating drinking sources downstream. Causes of water pollution are important to know so that we can control them. Water pollution caused by mining. Mining is a major cause of water pollution. Normally, when the groundwater flows through mining sites, it often becomes polluted with heavy metals and other pollutants. Therefore, mining companies should be more environmentally conscious of reducing their environmental footprint. Mining has been known for years as one of the leading causes of water contamination in many parts of the world because it pollutes groundwater, which then gets into our drinking sources like wells or springs that we drink daily. However, many are not aware how much they can affect us by just having some mining activity close to where people live and use these things as well, such as agriculture or farming areas. Causes of water pollution are hard to understand, but we all need to work together to control these causes. Water pollution caused by population. It's hard to determine the damages of water pollution caused by population. However, as the world continues to become more populated and higher levels are reached in countries like China and India, it is becoming evident that humans have a huge impact on our ecosystem. One way this has been seen recently is when horses refused to drink from natural streams because they were too polluted with human waste or animal runoff into them. Scientists found arsenic at twice what's considered safe for drinking water near these sources. Ying. To make matters worse, due both directly and indirectly, people living downstream suffer even larger effects. The World Health Organization estimates that 3 billion face health risks related to their wastewater disposal practices every day. WHO/UNICEF Joint Monitoring Program 2009 report. The human population is a key factor in water pollution. The more humans, the greater amount of sewage produced by them and their livestock. This creates an unhealthy environment for all living things around it. Fish die from toxins released into rivers and lakes by human waste. Bacteria proliferate on lake beds with no oxygenation, creating dead zones, etc. Water pollution caused by urbanization. Rising levels of population and pollution have had a significant effect on water quality throughout many major cities. A few examples are highlighted below. In China, untreated sewage is dumped into canals, which leads to polluted waterways that then flow through Beijing's streets. In India, studies show that people who live near rivers contaminated by industrial chemicals suffer from poorer health than those living in areas with cleaner environments. Just as air pollution has become more widespread over time due to increased urbanization rates, so too does water contamination.